Hi, welcome to this training. In this video, I'm going to cover how to get 50 to 100 consistent martial arts leads for your martial arts school. Now, this statement I know gets a lot of people's attention. It's something that I've done consistently with working with all the clients I have done. But it's something that I wanted to break down a little bit more, just because there are quite a lot of different factors to this. And one thing that I've even noticed that this getting consistent leads is where we all want to be with any kind of business end of the day, but having something like what I'm going to show you now is when you incorporate all these strategies together, getting 50 to 100 leads a month is not that hard, to be fair. So let's get straight into it. So basically what we're going to be covering is how do you optimizing your funnel. A funnel is a marketing term. I'll break it down and make it just more simpler to understand. Organic versus paid. Organic basically is just the opposite to paid, I suppose. It's just where it's a bit more manual work and it's using your profile and things like this. So we're going to cover that. Third point we're going to be going is, which in my opinion is probably one of the most important things you could ever learn, is understanding the customer journey, because this is how you tailor your marketing accordingly. So we'll cover that. And then 3 mistakes I see most martial arts schools making. And finally, the one thing that I think you need to be doing consistently, I know you need to be doing it, which gets you massive amounts of results. So, first thing, I just want to say, okay, firstly, if you've never heard of me, then obviously on this page you'll see loads of stuff. You'll see, you can find out a bit more about me. But generally, as a very quick rundown, my name is Swapnil. I've been doing digital marketing for 15 odd years, and particularly in the martial arts niche, I've been doing close to 5 years now. And I've worked with over 100 schools and done a lot in the fitness industry. So I've worked with loads with yoga, Pilates, mindset coaches, all that kind of stuff. But with martial arts schools, I've worked with majority in the UK. I've done quite a lot in the US, and then there's Dubai and Canada as well. So what I'm trying to get to is what I'm sharing with you is actually stuff that I've done. It's something that I'm still doing with clients, and it's actually just real-time info, I suppose, in the day. And this info that I'm going to actually be sharing with you, it's not something that will change. I wanted to share stuff that will still work for you even few years down the line. Like 5 years even down the line. Is understanding marketing online marketing is very essential. So let's get straight into it. First one. Optimizing your funnel. Funnel is a word that gets thrown around a lot in the marketing world, and you probably come across it. It's basically a sales system, if you want to think it that way. It's like, how do you take someone from where they just don't know you, and how do you actually convert them, basically? So I will show you the TAP system itself, which will give you an overview, and you'll be able to see how a funnel works. But you need a way for someone to be able to give you their information easily. Now, one of the things that I want to cover with you is I've got my little drawing thing here, which will make things easier so you can see this. Now, one thing that when we have something like a system, is that when you incorporate a system into your business, then it just becomes so much easier to do things. And the funnel, generally, most people will draw out a funnel where it's like this, and this is where you got, say we'll put pounds or dollars, whichever, but basically is where someone converts down here. Now, what a funnel generally is that what we're doing here is we're taking someone from where they just don't know you, which I'll show you another diagram which will help you understand this more. But generally here is like people say, oh, bring people into your funnel. So what does this mean? It's like, this is where someone, we use the word cold, meaning that someone has never heard of you, they don't know you. This generally here is where Facebook comes in. Here. Now Google traffic, you will find, is somewhere down here, which is a bit further down. So what I'm showing you here, this is where it's hot, where someone actually knows that they want to buy and all this kind of stuff. This is generally where you'll find Google people, like Google traffic in a way. But when you have this kind of system, what you're trying to do is basically take someone and take them all the way through. Now, one thing that you need to also understand with this is that with Facebook, because people have just seen you on the ad or on the page or something like this, they need a lot of nurturing. So people do need to know a little bit about you, and you're taking them gradually down this funnel. And then eventually this is where your offer is, and people will convert. So that's like a very quick way of showing this kind of stuff, but it's really important to understand where this kind of traffic is. Like obviously you got the Facebook, the Googles, and where exactly is it? You know, a lot of people think always say to me, okay, yeah, these leads are not converting. You know, like I get much higher conversions through Google. Well, yes, you would, just because the Google traffic is generally people they're searching already for you, and they're kind of different. So that's one thing I wanted to cover with you. Like, you know, being able to let me go back to having some kind of way where you take someone from an ad and then you get their contact details straight away, or getting them, you know, where you get their name, email, and then phone straight up, is basically a very important step, because this is where you're not spending loads of time in Messenger and all this kind of stuff and wasting time there. But the funnel generally is basically taking someone and into like a sales process. Another way people describe is where this is where you might have seen things like ClickFunnels and all this kind of stuff. What they are is that each page is a way to convert, to take to someone to the next page, basically. So you would have like a sales page here, and then you would take them into another page, and then another. What this is actually a funnel, really, because if we look at this diagram here, it's literally the same thing, but turned horizontally. So you're basically taking someone from here and you're taking them across. Now, of course, this is where you get them to buy and all this kind of stuff. Now, this is basically what we're doing. And it might look all complicated and stuff, but it's not really, especially for the martial arts niche. It's not. Local business marketing is a lot easier than saying when you're trying to go and sell online courses and all this kind of stuff. Now, here is where basically having a way to get people's details and stuff like that is very important. Getting someone to subscribe. You know, subscribe means someone to give, you know, it could be like giving them a PDF or anything like this along them ways. Works really, really well. Now, make sure your Facebook profile is optimized. What does this mean? This is a very important step that most people just don't do. Is that, say when you're doing ads or anything like this, the general habit and the general buyer journey, I suppose, it's like someone sees your ad, then they're going to go and check out your page. They're going to see who you are, check out your website and all this kind of stuff. So having your actual Facebook profile optimized is very important. Having the right details on there so that people understand and know exactly what offers you have and all this is very, very important to have. And this will make a massive impact also, is that having a very strong follow-up process. So what does this mean? It's like, so if we have I might skip down and just show you that, but actually let's go. I'll skip down and show you the tap system, really, because this is where you can see it. When you have like a follow-up process here, where you got the emails and all this kind of stuff, this all helps with people to show up. And it's a very important thing that you should have. Like, you know, you've got retargeting ads and all this kind of stuff. Really, really important steps to have, because then your show-up rate goes higher and people come in when they're actually more educated, which actually helps with your sales process massively. Now, where we are. So this actual funnel is, we also call them conversion assets. What does that mean? It's basically a tool, a method that where someone comes in where they don't know you and they turn into a buyer. That is, the middle bit is an asset, because once you got that working, it's always going to work for you like a machine. So building that first is very, very essential, because that is, instead of going out there and doing loads of content and everything first and not having this conversion asset built, is you're just wasting money, really, because people are coming in, you might have holes here and there and people just vanishing to get out. So it's a really important step to have. Now, organic versus paid. What is it? What is organic? Organic is basically where you can go into Facebook groups and you can go into different, like Facebook group strategy is a very good one. You would go in there and post and like share information about yourself, you know, people, and then you can also share offers in some of them, and this works really well. Now, having a converting offer first is another really important step. One really good way of doing this is using organic methods, where you're actually testing these offers out in these groups, and then you can actually go and put paid ads on it, because you don't want to be doing paid ads on some offers that you've never tried before, because you will just lose money. What does paid ads is basically just a massive amplifier of what you've already got working. So this is why funnels and all this kind of stuff is important to have. But if you don't have a good enough offer that is working right now, then all that system and all that stuff is not going to work, because that's not actually getting the right people in, and it's not, well, you just won't have any leads coming in really. So you should be using both of these strategies. There's very good organic strategies where you're doing videos and all this kind of stuff on your pages, sharing them out, doing videos which are actually talking about people's pain points is really very, very helpful, because that kind of stuff gets shared as well. And when you use these both things, then adding paid ads into it is just makes that explosion really happen, like in a good way, So this is why you might have seen if you haven't, like the results that I've been getting for all my clients, you will see quite a lot of them having these like really crazy results. Now, why is that? That's because they're utilizing both. They're using video, they're using paid ads on top of it. And when you start using all of this, it makes a little ecosystem inside, especially with Facebook, is that it just becomes, people start seeing you everywhere, and it just works so well. Like, more than likely, you've probably seen some of my ads. There are, and some of them have been going for quite a while, you probably noticed. It's just that because it takes people a lot of touch points before someone actually comes and says, yes, can you help me? Which works the same with martial arts schools. It's a bit easier, to be fair. So now, this next thing, understanding the customer journey. This is so important to understand. When my mentor showed me, and I did a lot of reading up about this as well, is understanding where the customer journey is. I kind of showed you a little bit on that funnel bit, but basically here is what I want to show you is, let's get back to this little board. Now, here is not the best of graphics, but you can see it anyway. Now, this is where you want to be looking at, is unaware is this section here. Unaware is where someone just doesn't know you and has no idea about that you can help them or anything. Problem aware is that they kind of know that, let's talk about the kids. They know that they need help. They're just being like at school and not having any friends, and there's loads of different reasons, but they need focus and stuff, but they just never even thought about martial arts, so they just don't know. Solution aware is where they've kind of heard a little bit about martial arts, but they know okay, maybe football's good, or maybe tennis, it's something like they need some kind of sport. Product aware is where they just know martial arts is just the great one to have. They just know, they've already read up a little bit about it. Most aware is basically where they just know. This is where you will find that your Google traffic generally tends to be around this area here. When you look at Facebook and stuff, you'll find that it tends to be maybe around here, this area. So having these things, claims, proofs, and all this stuff is very important. Generally, what most people are doing with their ads is that they're only targeting this group here. But they forget about this big one here. Now, this is where we target in the TAP system itself, but we also do this section here. But what I want you to understand is when you look at this here, most of the times people are just here, to be fair. This is where most people are doing their ads. This is just 3%. So what I mean by 3%? 3%, this market that you're generally going after, this is where everyone's most aware, product aware, they just know that this is their thing. It's only 3% of the market that are ready to buy there and then. People forget about this big 97% here, and they just don't really know how to attract them or what to be doing. To be honest, the best way that I found is this bit here. Stories, secrets, talking about benefits, anxieties, these kind of things. When you can start incorporating this in your ads and you incorporate this into your content marketing and all this kind of stuff, it just has a massive impact because you're targeting this such a big audience. So this is where like your competition just never goes. You know, your competition is always after this this little 3%. You know, that's where they're doing their ads. And now this is where like why this tap system works so well. And generally in marketing itself, if you can understand this, this is where your marketing will completely go off the rails, meaning in the good way, is that it will be so good because you're getting all these people and you're educating. This is educational marketing. So hopefully this gives you some ideas as to the 5 levels. I would highly recommend that you read this book here, Eugene Schwartz, 5 Levels of Awareness. He's a master. You know, he's every marketer knows of this guy because it was, I think, 1920s or something. So he's been around for, I mean, he's not alive now, but it's been around for a while, and he's like one of the first godfathers of this kind of stuff. Like when he showed this kind of thing, it made massive sense as well. There's of course other other copywriters as well to follow, but this is a really good one that I would highly recommend. Once you get this, then you'll understand, okay, what you've been doing more of is probably just this section here. So wanted to share that with you. This is really important stuff that once you get it, it will just completely change your marketing. Now, also, yeah, so, I mean, like, who are you targeting? Let me ask you this question. Who are you targeting? Are you just going after that 3%? Then you need to understand how to target that 97%, because that is where the gold is, so to speak, where people are not even going. If you've heard that analogy where they say blue ocean, red ocean kind of stuff, red ocean is generally where everyone's in, and blue is like the, you know, where no one goes really kind of stuff. That 97% is the blue ocean, so it's a great place to be marketing. So now, 3 mistakes that I see martial arts school owners making. As mentioned already, this is a big one. They all seem to be going after the 3%. That's a really big one. The other one is that they're not educating people. They expect that everyone knows why martial arts is perfect for the child. You know, like we understand it, but the thing is that you need to understand that the normal customer, they don't have that much knowledge of this kind of stuff. You need to educate them. And then third one, just not having enough follow-up processes. This is like having the thing I showed you, which I'll show you in more detail in a second. You know, the emails, the retargeting, the text, all this kind of stuff are multi-touch points, so very important to have. Now, coming on to my 5th point, this is very important. Once you have your conversion asset working, this is one thing you need to be doing consistently. Unfortunately, there's no way out of this, but content marketing needs to be done, because that's how you gain attention. That's how you are actually, like, this is content marketing for me. You know, what I'm doing is I'm actually showing you something that I know works and has loads of results of it, but I have to do content marketing to like educate people, to show them stuff. So you need to be doing the same thing for your school, is having these kind of content pieces that are going out regularly. You'll find some of them work, some don't, which is normal. But the thing is that the trick to this thing is you're finding the bits that work. Then you start scaling your content, and it only makes sense to be doing your content now after you have that conversion bit sorted, because if people are coming through into this world of yours and you don't have this system that is going to convert them, then it's all wasted effort. So this is why you find that everyone that is doing blogging and doing all these stuff, posting on social media, and you'll see loads of gurus out there and stuff and saying that you should not be doing all this. Well, the thing is that you should not be doing all this at the start. That's the thing. You should definitely be doing it, but the thing is that when you're sending these traffic, you want to be sending them to like your funnel, your conversion asset. That's the bit that will do the automatic work for you and then get customer out of the other end. Now, this is what the tap system is basically, again, here we have, you know, basically, I think I've got a better version on here. Let me show it to you. Yeah, so it's here. So I can zoom in a bit more and show you it here. So this is the tap system. Now, here, again, we've got like, we've got the ads here. These are the ads, and this is the actual main system here itself. All this here. Now, when you have an offer that's working, this bit here, and you can actually take someone that it will go from all the way here, and then they come out as a lead, then you know you've got a conversion asset that's working. Because, of course, most people can generate leads generally, and it's not the hardest thing. But the thing is that what you'll find is that this is the bit that people just generally don't have or just not aware of, and which I'm hoping you will be aware of now, which will give you a lot of insight and help you, is having these kind of assets here, like the email, having a little follow-up system here, having these little retargeting sequences. You know, these are little things that make a big impact, because when someone comes in, generally most people have only got this bit here and maybe this thank you page, that's it, and then that's it. They don't have these other assets which are actually helping with the sale and all the multi-touch points. People need that. So that is basically what the tap system is. It's a more simplified version here, but there are a few more elements to this, but I found that showing in this way actually helps massively, and hopefully you can take this away and implement something like this in your business. You will find that it will work very, very well for you. And just remember that you need to be having these multi-touch points and taking people through like a journey. So coming back to like the title, how do you get 50 to 100 consistent leads? When you have like different classes as well, you know, if you're doing if you're doing kids for certain age groups, the one big thing that I see all the time is people are trying to do one ad for everyone. This just does not work. You know, it can work, but it's not as effective. You will have much better success if you can like make sure that your ads are a bit more pointed to a certain age group, and your marketing, you're talking to that person, will be much more powerful. Because if you've got something that's more towards the adults, so imagine having you've got like an ad for the adults, an ad for the kids like 5 to 7 year olds, you got one for the teenagers. You don't need many. You've got like 3 systems here, and they all can be very similar to the Snap Tap system. It's not going to take you long to generate 50 to 100 leads, because there's not a lot across the board, but very easily done. You know, this is when you need to think, okay, which classes are you doing? If you're just doing one, which is fine, I always say people to stick to one niche at a time. It's still achievable, because the thing is that the bit that makes the biggest difference is having this kind of conversion asset, and then also this one here, and then having a good offer to attract them in. That middle offer bit is very, very important as well. So hopefully that gives you some insights, and you kind of understand much more about this kind of thing. You know, it's once you get this, it just makes such a massive difference in your school, and it's not hard to generate 50 to 100, and this system is consistent. A lot of times I find that people generally say Facebook is too expensive, or it just doesn't work. It does work. It's just that you don't have a system to take people through from when they put their hand up and then they go, yes, I want to actually join up. And one of the things that helps with joining people up is showing them results and all this kind of stuff. So one last thing, I'm hoping you found this helpful. If you want to chat with me or one of my team members, you'll see a button on this page. Book a call with me. It's a free call. It's just a strategy call. We'll just have a chat. Don't worry, there's no sales on this call. So it's literally me just finding out more about you and just seeing if the tap system is a right fit. If it is, then I'm sure you've already seen all the results it's done. If you haven't, then you'll see it on this page, and then just book a call today. So I look forward to speaking to you. If not, no worries at all. In the day, you'll see more content from me, and I hope these are helping you, and I look to hear from you soon.